there's some of you that actually submitted the question, your questions by email. So if you've done that, that's also great. This way I get a chance to read some of them before it starts. So we're going to get started in like 1 minute here.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody. Everybody can hear me, right?
Yeah.
I'll just do a quick sound check. Okay, so if everybody can hear me, we're going to get started here.
Yep.
Okay, great. Well, hey, thanks for joining me, everybody. I just wanted to let you guys know there's a replay here. Everybody that's in the membership can access the replay, even though, someone can't join a group healing, they could still use the same link. The link that you got today is the replay. Plus, the download is also on the membership, so you're going to access the today's in the membership like afterwards, but immediately after the call, you'll be able to use the same link to listen to the replay. Okay, so the replay can be very helpful if you're dealing with this issue. So then, as you listen to it, if you listen to it again, you can actually go deeper or become aware of things. And some of you are practitioners. This will help you if you're learning this process. Okay, so be sure to access the replay and learn from it, and the healing transmissions, the processes, it's still there, even though you're listening to it later. And some people, they can't join the call. If you write to me, I'm going to include what you've written to me into the group healing so that you can get the benefits at a later time. So yeah, welcome to the call. I also wanted to let you know, because I think some people just jumped on. Okay, if you haven't submitted your questions, I usually ask people if they want to submit it in advance. Like, just send it like 15 minutes before the group session, or you could just, if you didn't have time, just go into the Q&A here, the chat box, and submit your question, and then I can include it into the group healing. So, okay, I think I'm seeing some questions come in. So if you want to do that right now, you're welcome to. Otherwise, you could just receive the benefits of the healing as we go along. So okay, and I mean, during the call, I may there's like a dynamic flow. There's every call, there is following a certain format, but sometimes I may just ask you to unmute, and then I will work on you, and then that would be that would help everybody else. So if we do that, then all you do is press star 2 to raise your hand, and then I could unmute you, and then you could get on the call, and then we can do like an individual / group healing based on the person's specific issues. Okay, so let me get started here. Just want to cover these key points. Okay, so today I'm going to cover I'm not worthy. Okay, and this is a belief that can impact us in a lot of different areas in life. It could be your work, your business, your finances. Could be even impact your health. Impacts your relationship, causes you to not have good self-confidence. Okay, so some people are even successful. They are earning, they're achieving, but sometimes some of these issues in life arise and they don't feel confident. It's also because of this not worthy belief. Okay, so this actually builds on last month's group healing. Okay, so if you're in the membership now, you can actually access last month's group healing because that is actually, we talked about not being enough last time. It's like a twin of this issue. So you can also listen to the previous call, and that can help you a lot as well. So yeah, when we do the process, okay, so for people that are new and haven't noticed how I work, okay, what I'm going to do is during the group healing, I'm just going to lead you through, and what I'm going to do is I'm tuning into the group, and there are, it's like an onion, layers of the consciousness, the stuck aspects that holds your issues, your challenges together. So as I tune into the group's consciousness, what I want you to do is just set an intention to let go of the issue, all right, and then follow your breath. So when I say, follow your breath, it just simply means be aware of your breath with the intention to let go. So you may be letting go of like anger, grief, sadness, fear, not feeling safe. So I'll be mentioning these key things, okay? So for this group tonight and the people that are joining us, I'm tuning into the energy of this group. So like in the future, if I do this again with a different group, it's still a similar process, but what I verbalize to tell the other group to let go would be different because every group has some unique responses. Okay, so all I'm going to say is let go of this, let go of this. Now, you don't have to say, well, like how do I let go? It's just by intention. Okay, it's by intention. Follow your breath to let it go. Everything here is done by intention. Okay, so while I'm tuning in and verbalizing it, what we're doing here is bringing what's unconscious to the conscious. So your conscious mind can observe these unconscious patterns. And as you observe it, then it gets let go. So it's done by just your intention. So you don't have to be the practitioner here or have to overthink anything. Just by intention and let go. Okay, so what I want you to do, okay, particularly for the not feeling worthy. I know some of you even wrote me in advance, okay? Whatever that is that you are feeling not worthy, what I want you to do is pay attention to how your body responds, okay? Where does your body hold the response? Okay, when you, for example, it could be work, it could be a relationship. I had an email that came in that says, I have to take care of my children, and instead of going out to earn money. And then by not earning money, if I'm doing something that's not earning money, then I feel like I'm not worthy. Okay? So whatever your story or your issue is, pay attention to your body. Okay? And where do you feel the tightness, the tension, the heaviness? Notice where you feel it. Okay? Do you feel it somewhere? Okay? So I think there's some questions that came in, and I just wanted to relate to you. Okay, one person wrote about not being enough to relate with biological family, or feeling like some type of ancestral scapegoat pattern. Okay, so whatever that you wrote me, notice where your body holds it. And same thing for Jen. Okay. Okay. So the first thing you do is pay attention to where your body holds the issue. Okay. So Dan's saying that he holds it in the solar plexus. Okay. Good. So pay attention to where your body first holds attention. Okay. And now what we're going to do is I'm going to start tuning into the group, right? So one of the key things in the work we do is whatever your body first holds it is the initial symptom of your response. And why I tell you to do that is pay attention to your body is because we're trained not to pay attention to our body. We don't pay attention to our bodies enough. Okay? So whatever your thought is or something that's giving you suffering, just step back a second and say, where's the body holding it? Is it in the shoulders and in the knees and in the gut? Where's your body holding the issue? All right. So look at the issue of not feeling worthy, and where's your body holding it? Okay. So all right. So pay attention to that. Okay. Now what I want you to do is wherever you start to feel the tension, I want you to start to use your breath with the intention to bring energy to that part of your body. That's what we want to do. Just bring energy to that part of your body, wherever you feel the tension. Okay? Just follow your breath, meaning be aware of your breath with the intention to bring energy. You know, it could be just gentle breaths. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. Okay. So as I'm tuning into the group here. Okay, Jen says she feels it in the lungs. All right. So you guys are also free to keep writing your feedback in the chat box here. So that's fine. And then I could just kind of read it out to you as it comes up. Okay. So now for the group here, the first thing that comes up is fear. Okay. And what I want you to do is just set the intention to let go of fear. And then follow your breath. Again, when I say follow your breath, it's become aware of your breath. And then, some gentle breaths. Be aware of your breathing with the intention to let that go. Now, what I want you to do, the next layer that's coming up for the group here is about not feeling safe. Okay? So follow the breath to let go of any subconscious responses about not feeling safe. Okay? Keep following the breath. Let go of any type of subconscious fears. That's the next layer that's coming up. Okay, and these fears are connected to ancestors. So follow the breath to let go of ancestors' fears about not being worthy. Ancestors' insecurities. And what you do is, you're wherever you're feeling it, for some of you in the solar plexus, in the lungs. Okay, so what I'm looking at is where the interconnection is. The next interconnection is in the heart area. So I want you to do is set the intention by following your breath to let go of ancestors' insecurities, ancestors' fears from the heart area, and then follow your breath. Now what I want you to do is let go of ancestors' anger held in the heart. Okay, and follow the breath, let that go. Okay, so for the group here behind the anger, there's some ancestors' wounds. All right, so start to have an intention to let go of ancestors' wounds just by intention. Follow your breath. Okay, so in my okay, so for those that have my book or you taking one of my trainings before, we have a technique called the touch the wound technique. So in the book, it's called it's the top Chinese energized heart wisdom process technique. With this technique, what you do is it's a very simple technique. It's again using your intention, and you want to touch and feel into subconscious wounds by your intention. Okay, so I'm not going to go into break down how the ins and outs of the technique, but I'm just going to take you through the process so that you can experience releasing. So we want to touch into not feeling safe. Okay, and then follow your breath. So touching is really important. So when we have an intention to touch, there's a consciousness and intelligence in the heart area that we're connecting it to, so that we can help you process things that have been stuck for a long time. So touch, not safe, follow the breath, touch unconscious fears, ancestors' fears, touch any type of fear letting go, touch any type of fears about not trusting, and follow the breath. So the heart is a fear of letting go of this old way of being. So another technique that I teach in my practitioner's course is about letting go of old identities. Okay, so an old identity is like an old way of being. So right now for the heart, it's holding an old way of being, which is this ancestors' wounds and fears, insecurities. Okay, so I want you to start to set the intention to let go of this old way of being, this old identity. So you can think about identity as like an old outfit that you're so used to wearing for a long time, but you're so used to it that you're not even aware that you're wearing it. And then if you let go of it or take it off, it feels like you're losing your old way of being. Okay, so when we let go of old way of being, the common response is there's fear of the unknown. There's not feeling safe, not able to trust. There's concerns about learning, and doubts and fears and worries about learning a new way of life. Okay, because we're so used to it. Where do we get these old, identities or old costumes or beliefs from? Where it's from, maybe from our parents or from where we were brought up, or it's just old conditioning. Okay, so follow the breath to let go of this old way of being, about ancestors not trusting, their fears, their insecurities. Follow the breath to let go of that. And now what I want you to do is to reprogram. This is our reprogramming technique, just by follow the breath, having intention to reprogram the heart. Just right now, specifically for the heart. And you say the specific language. And the specific language is to say it, but you make sure you follow your breath. Because when you follow your breath, be aware of your breath, it reprograms the body. It's not like just mental affirmation. You're actually having an intention to reprogram a part of your body with the breath. Okay, so being aware of the breath, it starts to reprogram. You're not just like repetitively, mentally saying it like as an affirmation. Okay, so just say, what if it's safe to trust more? And then follow the breath. What if it's safe to trust life more? Follow the breath. What if it's safe to trust the universe more? Follow your breath. What if it's safe to trust that there's an intelligence, the divine, whatever your relationship is? You call it God or whatever your name is. Okay? So follow the breath to reprogram. So what if it's safe to trust life, trust the intelligence, trust the divine? Follow the breath. Okay? If you feel like there's some type of resistance, then say, what if it's safe to let go of this resistance? Follow the breath. What if it's safe to trust more, to fully let go? Okay, so notice how it feels with the issue that you feel. So, all right, some of you saying there's sadness in the chest that's being released. It feels like it's going up to the skull. So, yes, if things are moving as we're letting go, you could feel different movements, different discomforts. And, whether you're been, learning this work with us for a while or just new, there are, as you're letting go, this will be common with you. You can start to experience it in the group sessions that your body may experience some type of physical release, physical detox. Some people experience it through yawning, to tears, to some type of muscle tension. There could be some symptoms either during the session or after the session. So if that happens, this is normal. Okay, your body's going through a transformation. So I tell people this during our sessions, that it can be uncomfortable sometimes because you're breaking very old responses, beliefs, so on. Okay, so if anybody wants to share anything, like share your feedback, as we were doing that, please go into the chat and just do that. And I'm just going to keep going for the group here, because we address some layers, and we're just going to keep going. Okay, so the next thing that's coming up for the group here, connected to not feeling worthy, is held in the gut area. Okay, the gut is holding fears. Okay, so everybody, just by your intention, be aware of your breath, let go of fears held in the gut area. Not feeling safe in the gut area. frozenness in the gut area. So another technique that we commonly use is because of fight or flight responses that, this is the way, human conditioning seems to work, is that the body is orientated for fight or flight. And then when we are in either one of those, we have a tendency oftentimes to freeze. Okay? So whenever there's a frozen response that comes up, what we do is just follow the breath to melt the frozen response. Okay? So follow the breath, melt that with an intention to melt the frozen response. So be aware of your breath. Take some breaths, gentle breaths with the intention to melt those frozen emotions held in the gut. Okay, and now there seems to be some type of for the group here. There's some anger held in the gut too. Follow the breath to let go of anger in the gut. Be aware of your breath. Let go of anger. Okay, so the next thing that's coming up. The next thing that's coming up is not trusting, held in the gut. Okay, so follow the breath, let go of not trusting. Let go of not safe to trust. The fears of trusting, fears about trusting. And if you're feeling some type of tightness, we have one this Jen said there's a rock in my chest. If you anyway feeling any type of tension, just by the intention, energize that part of your body. If you're feeling something heavy, what I want you to do is start to use the touch the wound technique. Okay, so by the intention, you touch and feel into the wound. Okay, and follow the breath. Be aware of your breath. Touch and feel into anything connected to not feeling safe. Follow the breath. Not safe to trust. Kind of keep feeling into it. Not safe to trust life, trust the universe, trust divine. Keep feeling into it. Okay, if some of you are feeling resistance to touching, okay, then touch into the pain of the fear of feeling into pain, because we've been conditioned to avoid pain and to process our pain. Okay, so that's like an old way of being. So follow the breath with the intention, let go of this old way of being, which is fear of feeling pain. It's not safe to feel pain. It's not safe to observe your pain. This is also connected to the heart. It's your ancestors' programming about ancestor and collective programming about not feeling pain or stories or conditioning about feeling pain. So we want to start to let that go. Okay? Energize the heart to let go of your stories, your beliefs, your conditionings about your old way of being. Which is the old way of being, which is fear of feeling pain. So when you reprogram the heart, with intention to say, what if it's safe to feel? What if it's safe to observe pain, process it? What if it's safe to trust life more, to feel it, and allow me to go through it instead of avoid it? So I was just, we've been living in India for the last few months. We have some opportunities to sit with, living self-realized masters. I asked them the same thing, and they're saying, you want to learn to fully surrender to the pain. Go through it instead of trying to avoid it. So that the way we've been conditioned is we've been conditioned to avoid pain through maybe food, through video games, through busyness, through drugs, alcohol, whatever. Lots of different ways people can do to distract themselves. Some people do this by being instead of feeling the feelings, being chatty all the time. Okay, so you want to do your best to stay with the pain. If you start to find ways to distract yourself because that's your old conditioning, and you don't fully feel it, fully surrender, and just be present to the pain, the body never processes it. Okay? It's your old conditioning. If you process it, then you can actually have a chance to break your old beliefs, your patterns, and so on. And then your body can release it. That's what we want to do, is to get you here. These group healings is also about kind of holding a space for you so that you could just take the time to sit with something and just observe it, because you've never been taught to observe your discomforts. Okay, that's a really important thing for anyone that's dealing with challenges of any kind. So keep reprogramming the heart with saying, what if it's safe to just trust, slow down, just observe, be with the discomfort. Okay, there's some grief connected here. So fear and grief. So keep on the breath, let go of fear and grief. Connected to observing and being with your pain. It could be, physical or psychological or emotional pain. All right? It's just that you take a little bit of time to follow the breath. You want to build up your capacity or your endurance to observe your discomfort. So follow the breath with a reprogram. So what if it's safe to just observe, to trust more and observe, be with it. Okay, so if you do this work, it helps you observe and be with it. Sometimes, instead of doing your old habits, maybe go take a walk in nature or do something that can help you just be with yourself. But if you go in nature and you're on the phone all the time, or you're playing on your phone, that doesn't really solve that problem. We want you to just be alone with your feelings and your discomforts, and just do your best to process it. So let me know how you're feeling, everybody. If you got comments, just feel free to share. Okay, so yeah, how do we? The question is, how do we stop in a moment to find what pain we're avoiding? You know, I would build up the endurance just little by little to maybe, if you're eating what they call it, like stressful eating. There's a term for it. I can't think of the name of it. Or some type of reactionary eating habits. See if you can hold that off for, just build it up. You know, maybe put it off for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, so that you could build it up to observe it, to follow your breath, to stay with that discomfort. Okay, that's what I would do. And then yes, I mean, if you're really hungry, then go eat. But if you're just eating with it's like the reaction to stress, you know, see if you could create a new opening. So for everybody else that has an old habit, right? I want you to just observe what your old habit is, what your default is. Okay? So there's a connection to your heart. Okay? Follow the breath with an intention to let go of this old habit. Okay? There's resistance. For the group here, there's fear. Okay? Follow the breath. Let go of fear. Let go of ancestors' fear. Okay? There's actually fear of letting go. And behind the fears, there's some wounds of the ancestors. Okay? So touch those wounds by your intention. And then follow the breath. Be aware of your breath. Touch not safe. Ancestors not feeling safe. Ancestors not trusting. There's some type of ancestors' frozenness. Follow the breath. Melt those frozenness. So reprogram, saying, what if it's safe to trust more? Reprogram. What is safe to trust more? What if it's safe to trust life, trust the universe, trust the divine more? Okay. I got a comment saying that the ache in the arm is mostly gone. Cool. Okay. So another point I want to clarify, because I was talking about the food. Whatever, if you have a addiction, or it could be addiction, it could be for food, it could be for anything. It should be a natural happening, meaning I mean, maybe 10, 15 years ago, I would eat like a ton of sugar, candy bars, uh, just like uncontrollably. But it was a natural loss of interest. Like now when I go to the stores, I hardly go pick up like junk. I never probably hardly eat junk food if I ever do. Maybe it could be years, but I used to. Um, so there would be a natural happening, natural loss of interest. Okay, if you address the issue that's underneath, then you just lose interest that caused you suffering. Uh, Even drinking, I haven't drank for years. Okay, but I used to. But it wasn't like, like it happened overnight. But as you do your inner work, your body will just not have interest in the things that what you are either currently or interested in the past. Okay, so I hope that answers any type of questions related to that topic there. Okay, so I'm going to keep going and continuing for dealing with not feeling worthy. Okay, so the next thing that comes up for the group here is located in the face area. There's frozenness held in the face. Okay, this is for the group, the consciousness of the group. So there's frozenness there. So what you need to do is set the intention to let go of frozenness there. Let go of grief there. Let go of shame. Swallow the breath, let go of shame. Let go of any type of anger held in the face, ancestors' anger, ancestors' grief, ancestors not feeling safe, ancestors' fears of letting go. Follow the breath, let this go. Okay, ancestors' stories held in the face about I'm not enough, not worthy. Okay, it's a face and a heart connection. So you want to let go of these I'm not worthy, I'm not enough connections. Let go of the stories. Like the way our bodies work, it's like running movies and holding stories. Okay? So we want to let go of the stories. It's like these stories and movies, like subconsciously running. Every experience becomes like a movie that if you're not aware of it, sometimes if you're watching, if you're had a bad experience, it could be a good experience, all right? You're just replaying it over and over again. That's why you could tell your story, because the body holds on to that story or that movie, all right? So follow the breath, let go of these movies from your face, just movies and stories from your face, from your heart about not worthy, not enough, ancestors' stories and movies about them not being enough. Let go of that from the face. So the face is saying, if I let go, I don't know who I am anymore. Like the mask, right? These movies become like a mask. Stories become a mask for us. So when I let go of this mask of I'm not enough, or I'm not worthy. Okay, so you keep letting go of the grief that's connected there. I have to be something else for me to feel worthy, or be something that be different than what is. So one principle that when I'm doing extensive sessions with people that often comes up is this: people have suffering is because they're not accepting of what is. All right, this is a key life principle, spiritual principle. They're always saying, what this should be like, or that should be like this. People have a lot of unconscious expectations of how life should be this way, that way, or I should be this way or that way. So that causes suffering. So what's appearing in front of you is nature. And your body has its own nature. Someone else has its own nature. But when you don't accept their nature due to some kind of unconscious expectations, and you have stuff, then
The reigning champions are Argentina.
Sorry.
Who won their third title.
Got unexpected noise that popped up here. So I was just saying that the not accepting life as what is. Okay, so we want to have an intention to let go of whatever that we are not accepting of. That it could be this should be like this, that should be like that, I should be like this. Okay, whatever is for you, just by intention to start to let that go. Whatever resistance you have for not accepting life for what is. If you're not conscious of it, and you're feeling some type of tension or heaviness, then you also have that too. All right. So if you're having that tightness or heaviness, just follow your breath to let that to energize the heaviness, bring energy there. Okay. And when I let go of grief connected to not accepting life as what is. There's grief held in the face. Follow the breath, let go of grief in your face. And then reprogram the face, saying, what if it's okay to accept things more? What if it's safe to trust, to accept, instead of resist? Whether it's yourself or someone else. So when I say accept, I'm simply meaning to have an acknowledgement that, that you're going, acknowledge. First thing is to have an acknowledgement that you have some suffering. Okay. Okay, there's a resistance to acknowledging it. Like the opposite of acknowledgement is you're denying something. You're in denial. All right, then if you're in denial, you become highly unconscious. Then you won't be able to process. So follow the breath, reprogram facing. What if it's safe to acknowledge it? So if there's resistance to acknowledging it, keep following the breath, let go of that resistance. Let go of any type of subconscious wounds. If it feels heavy and not letting go, then touch and feel into the wound. Touch and feel into the pain and grief there. And now when you reprogram, then what if it's safe to acknowledge? Acknowledge and accept instead of resist. Okay, there still seems like there's some frozenness still there. Okay, so follow the breath, melt the frozenness. Let go of grief connected to that. Let go of sadness connected to that. Okay, there's still fears about letting go of the old way of being, which is the old mask about I'm not worthy. Okay, so follow the breath. With the intention to reprogram now, saying, what if it's safe to trust that from this intelligence standpoint, there's an intelligence, that we can't see, it's invisible. So, we somehow maybe created a belief that we're not worthy based on maybe the way we were brought up. Maybe the way you were raised, maybe your parents, weren't as nice or kind, or some people that experienced some abuse. They didn't quite get the love or attention as a child. What I want you to do is to reprogram for the child, for the part of you that feels hurt, and just set the intention to reprogram, saying, what if it's safe to trust that I'm always loved by this intelligence? There's an invisible intelligence that's always there. And you call it the divine or whatever. What if it's safe to trust that I'm always loved? This intelligence has never not loved me. Follow the breath with the intention to reprogram the child's response. If it's from your ancestors, follow the breath to do it for your ancestors too, for you and your ancestors. What if it's safe to trust that I'm always loved? That this intelligence always sees me as worthy. Do that for your face. Do that for your heart. What if it's safe to trust that I'm always loved? And also for your cells and your DNA, just by your intention. For the child, for the ancestors. Okay, so, for your the original issue, some of you wrote to us about some issues, and now just check from the beginning when we started, and now notice how you feel. If you want to share any feedback in the chat, please share. Okay, and also, if you're dealing with any type of stomach issues, stomach, gut area is connected to letting go of control. Okay, so you want to let go of the fears of letting go. That's in the gut area. And also from the ancestors' fears of letting go. Follow the breath to let go of the fear of letting go of control. And then frozen the cell in the gut. And then it's the gut's connection with the face. fear of looking vulnerable, looking weak with control. So you want to let go of this, also this ancestor's response held in the face, held together by the gut. And let go of, follow the breath, let go of grief there, let go of sadness there. Okay, so also one thing that's also connected to not worthy is related to the fear of being a bad person. Okay? So the fear of being a bad person, so this applies to probably everybody here. So, you know, just as I said in the beginning, when if somebody judges you for being a bad person or think bad of you, criticize you, notice how your body reacts. Okay? So for everybody, let go of this fear of being a bad person, being judged as a bad person. Okay? Follow the breath and let go of this old programming. It's not safe to be a bad person, like feeling not safe when you're judged as a bad person. Okay? Let go of grief there. Let go of sadness there. And there's also wounds connected to it. Again, we're going to use the touch the wound technique here. So touch into a wound of into fear of being a bad person. Touch into the pain there. Touch into sadness there. Touch into grief there. And follow the breath. There's fear of letting this go. Fear of letting go of the old way of being. The heart saying, if I let go of this old way of being, I'll be lost. I don't know who I am. Because it's so used to it. So reprogram the heart saying, what if it's safe to trust more? Trust even when I'm being judged. Okay. There's a fear of psychological pain. Psychological pain, you know, I don't want to be as a bad person. Like the heart's holding a program that's saying I'm not at peace with people's judgments of me as being a bad person. Okay, this comes from a culture, comes from religion. Okay, you know, if I'm judged, then I'm not going. You know, a lot of programming like this. Like, you know, if you grew up for decades saying, if I'm judged, I'm not going to heaven. Okay, so you want to let go of these type of programming. So so this fear of judgment in the heart, there's wounds connected to that. All right, you want to touch the wound, touch the pain, touch the grief, touch the sadness there. So there's fear of not being loved. Like, what happens? We kind of like, we have this reptilian brain. We like to be part of groups. Okay, if we're not loved by the group or judged by the group, we feel like an outcast, right? And then if we become an outcast, then it's hard to survive. This is ancestors programming. Okay, so touch into those wounds about the fear of not surviving and being an outcast or whatever. Like, you know, the group doesn't like you. the collective doesn't like you or hates you, right? Touch into this ancestor collective wound, touch into this pain, touch into this grief, sadness, and then reprogram the heart cells, DNA for you, for earlier life, for your ancestors. Say, what if it's safe to trust that everything will be taken care of? And then there's grief being released from the heart. Let go of that. Let go of sadness there. Let go of fear in the heart. What if it's safe to trust that I'm loved? That this intelligence always loves me instead of judges me? That the perception is I'm being judged or there's pain. What if it's safe to trust? Follow the breath. What if it's safe to trust to let go of this belief that I have to act like a good person or a nice person or whatever? So if you have less and less fears about people's judgment of you, that I have to be a good person, then you have more confidence, more self-worth. Okay? The face is still holding programming, saying, I'm afraid that the judge is not a good person. Also, this ancestor's mask, ancestor and collective mask, there's fear of taking off this mask. If I take off this mask, I don't know who I am anymore. I'll be lost. Like I'm so used to wearing this old mask. There's frozenness connected to that too. So follow the breath, let go, melt the frozenness. Taking off our old mask makes us feel very, very vulnerable. Okay? So it makes us feel very vulnerable, feel weak sometimes. Okay? So the fear of being vulnerable, fear of being weak, is ancestors and collective programming. So follow the breath, energize the face, and let go of this collective programming. There's still more frozenness in the face. So follow the breath, melt frozenness, melt grief, sadness. So then, if we're putting on a mask a lot, wearing a mask a lot, what happens is that we are, we're not authentic to ourselves, to other people. It's hard to, because, if we're wearing a mask, it's hard to be truthful. Okay, so when we're not being truthful to ourselves, to other people, then we have more insecurities. Okay, so the idea here is that we're gradually breaking this mask that we're wearing so that we can have more and more truthfulness, authenticity, simplicity. Follow the breath, reprogram the face, and what if it's safe to be, what if it's safe to trust? Trust life, trust the universe, trust the divine. Even when we're feeling weak or vulnerable, even when we're feeling some pain, what if it's safe to trust? Take out the mask. What if it's safe to trust even when we have some pain? We're not feeling safe. Okay, what if it's safe to trust? And what if it's safe, there's a pressure held in the face that puts pressure on you saying, I have to be a good person. Because of whatever you're programming, it created the program saying, I have to be a good person. Okay? What I mean by when you're a good person, being in India, it's like the self, by nature, you do the right things. You don't have to think about, like, you have to be a good person. You by nature will do the right thing. You don't have to like have all this mental thoughts like I have to be a good person. It seems like a lot of my work here is connected to my meditation and just when you let go of all the clutter and the negativity, you naturally do the right thing. You're naturally kinder, and that just seems to, the natural thing that arises anyway. But you're not thinking too much about it. But the idea is if you're thinking too much, I have to be a good person. This pressure I have to be, that's what we want to let go of. I'm afraid of being judged of not being a good person. Okay, so follow the breath, let go of all this. What if it's safe to trust that it's not, you don't have to worry about the collective? What if it's safe to trust that there's an intelligence that sees you as worthy, as a good person, whatever? What if it's safe to trust his intelligence? You want to trust his intelligence more than what somebody else's opinion of you is. Okay, so I saw some people join a little bit later. If you did join a little bit later, be sure to watch the replay because we cover a lot of good stuff here. Usually the last 25-30 minutes, I do open up to Q&A. If anybody have any Q&A about any of the specific your experience or the process, or even some people have done some like other programs. I kind of open it up and try to answer some of those questions if you do have. So it could be about today's topic, or it could be about anything else that's with my other programs too. So if you do want to ask anything, just raise your hand. Sometimes people are a little bit shy about raising their hand. Just press star 2. If you want to raise your hand, then I can unmute you. Otherwise, you can go into the chat and continue to write your comments into the chat. Okay, so Louis says, belly doesn't hurt anymore. All right, and you did the healing for your partner, and that was helpful. Okay, good. So thanks for sharing. Okay. Let me unmute Dan. All right, Dan. Any specific questions?
Hi, Paul.
Hey. How are you doing?
Doing a lot better, a lot clearer in the heart area, chest area. I feel some stuff still in my head, and I thought maybe you can help me, like how to punch through that, or like what would be next for me, or I guess it would be tuning into that area again, and then I can just feel some stuff in the forehead, and I guess maybe even the eyes.
I mean, there's, okay, so whenever your question, I'm trying to make it relevant for everybody else. There's this frozenness. If you guys are stuck, there's frozenness in the face. So we can just keep following the breath, melt the frozenness, okay, and letting go of grief. Like grief about not being worthy or enough. And then keep following the breath, let go of stories connected to that. And also in the eyes, okay, so for everybody else, for the eyes, right? Fear in the eyes. So programming and conditioning can be in the eyes. So we let go of fears and fears in the eyes. Okay, so it's like the eyes. It's like looking at the external world. Okay, is somebody judging me? Is somebody saying something not nice? It's feeling and looking into what other people's reactions are. So it's your eyes' reaction to others. So follow the breath, release your eyes' reaction to others. So the same for everybody else. Look at your eyes' reaction. Fear of other people's looks. It could give you a dirty look or angry look or whatever. Okay. Follow the breath, let that go. Let go of grief. Let go of sadness. Let go of fears. Let go of fear of being judged. And the eyes connection to the heart. Ancestors, stories, and responses in the heart about not worthy. When the eyes look. So the idea here is we want to, if anyone that's doing this work, what's happening is that your external focus starts to go more and more inner. You have a more inner focus instead of looking at what the outside world. When you can trust that the intelligence in life loves you, deeply values you, okay, is always there. Then you're not getting your confidence from the outside world. You're going more and more inwards. So by the progression of this work, everyone will go more and more inwards rather than being outwards. So reprogram the eyes and the heart, saying, what if it's safe to trust in this invisible intelligence that my eyes can't see? Eyes holding ancestors and collective fear of going inside, trusting the invisible. Follow the breath, let go of these beliefs. So for everybody, let go of these beliefs of not trusting. I have to see something physical in order for me to believe. What if it's safe to trust the invisible? Reprogram the eyes and the heart connection. Trust that I'm always loved. I'm always valuable. Follow the breath there. All right, so how's that feel now, Dan?
Oh, that's amazing. That was it. So interesting. The reactions within the eyes. Yeah, it feels a lot lighter, Paul. That was awesome. It was very good. Yes, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Okay,
yeah.
So that's great. So yes, everybody apply this to yourself, or if you didn't quite catch everything, re-listen to it, or go through the replay. If anybody have a specific question, or you want some specific help or whatever, just raise your hands. I'm happy to unmute you, help you out there, or you can write it in the chat box. Okay, I'll unmute you there. This is Pat, right?
Hi, can you hear me?
Hey, Pat, I'm fine. I can hear you. What can I help you with?
Oh, yes. So, nice to hear you. So I wanted to ask about the idea of feeling worthy and how, I think it's kind of maybe a collective perception that if you feel worthy, and like yourself, let alone love yourself, that you're like really high on yourself and maybe conceited or stuck up. Like for somebody to have that inner peace and feel good, they get viewed as, oh, you know, that's all she thinks about. She's so self-centered and stuck up, like that attitude.
Yeah, this goes back to fear of judgment. And then, so, okay, so again, so this goes back to the, the heart for you now. It's the heart is conditioned to react to the outside world. Like it's putting attention to the outside world. People thinking well, you're being conceited or whatever, or so we want you to let go of this old conditioning. Okay, so this old conditioning, again, you know, we're doing this for you and for everybody else. So so you want to let go of this old identity of the physical heart being orientated outwards. Okay, so we want to go inwards instead of outwards. So this is your ancestors programming, collective, like I need to be orientated outwards for survival. I need your opinion of me to be high instead of low. Okay? There's fear of someone having a low opinion of you. Okay? So so follow the breath to let go of this ancestral collective programming. This is like the old way of being. There's some frozenness holding that. So follow the breath to melt the frozenness in your heart, connected to this old way of being, this identity. There's wounds held in the heart too. So you want to touch these wounds, touch these pain of your ancestors too. So survival, there's survival orientated, like again, connected to the earlier part where I say it's like herd mentality. Like if the herd doesn't approve of me, then I won't survive. It's connected to the amygdala too. The heart connected to the amygdala that's constantly looking for people's approval. So I want you to set the intention to let go of these programs, which is the connection with the amygdala and the heart. Let go of these ancestral and collective programming, and then reprogram there, saying with the intention for the amygdala, for the heart, saying, what if it's safe to trust? Trust the inner intelligence, the inner response, instead of seeking the outer response. The amygdala is saying, I have to seek the outer response. There's fear letting this go. The heart has fear of letting this go. If I let this go, I don't know who I am anymore. I'll be lost. Okay. Reprogram the heart, the amygdala, saying, what if it's safe to trust that? Trust the quietness, trust this peace, trust that I can connect to my peace. So, you know, why are we spending time in India, right? My Sevinc, my wife and I. It's because it's like whatever that's true in life is what's eternal. Somebody else's opinion of you is constantly always changing, right? It's never, you know, they can have good opinion 1 minute and a terrible opinion of you the next minute. That's not anything that is, they say that anything that's not eternal or like that's constantly changing is not truth. Okay? Anything that stays consistent or ever, that is eternal, is truth. Okay, so this intelligence will love you forever. Whatever the outside opinions is constantly changing. Okay, so we program the heart and amygdala is saying, what if it's safe to trust? There's something eternal that I can't see that's always loving me, guiding me. What if it's safe to trust that? Follow the breath, reprogram. So there's not trusting. There's an old way of being. There's a fear of letting go of the old way of being. There's frozenness. There's wounds there. Keep touching and feeling into the wounds and feeling into the pain and grief there and sadness there. So the heart is saying, if I let go of this old way of being, I'll be lost. I don't know who I am anymore. I'm so used to like being externally orientated. Okay, so your ancestors are saying, I'm so used to being externally orientated. There's a fear of the unknown, not feeling safe, fear of learning a new way of being. Okay, so we program the heart, saying, what if it's safe to trust more? Trust even when it's not safe. Trust is intelligence. That's in every fabric of your being. What if it's safe to trust that? That I can't see, but it's everywhere. What if it's safe to trust that?
Paul?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes. I feel like also there's the layer of kind of going back to the herd mentality of if you get rejected from the group, how will you survive? And kind of that survival mechanism and that fear of not being accepted and being rejected or abandoned.
Yeah, that's what we're doing. So, so you want to do that to reprogram the heart and the amygdala. There's fear there, frozenness there. So what we're doing here is that this is a bigger issue for you. You know, I want you to. I'm just giving you the highlights and the keys of what to work through, and then you can start to feel some releases. But in your session with Sevinc, you should go deeper on this.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. So I want, for everybody else, we're touching if we're touching the surface of this is a deep issue. It's not, like when I work with people and these are deeper issues, some of these things that we're working through sometimes can take us some hours over some weeks to kind of process through. So it's a good question. I think we got started and brought you some awareness. So
yes, thank you.
You're welcome. All right. So anybody, I'll take one more question because we're getting close to the time. If there is a question, or I can just take a look at the chat box and then. Okay, Katie says wonderful. Oh, you're welcome. A lot of deep releasing. Okay. Okay, so while I'm waiting for the question, if somebody wants to raise your hand, I'm just gonna kind of just letting everybody know that for anybody that's interested, we have a practitioner's course coming up. Write us if you are interested in doing the practitioner's course. It's a 9-week practitioner's course, and all the techniques are going to be covered in the like probably 80% of the techniques. Some of the techniques are actually not put on my book, but most or all of the techniques that's in the Chinese Energetics Heart Wisdom book. If you guys are also interested in it, that's also on Amazon, or you get an electronic version on our website, and you can start to apply it. And they have details and examples for that. For anyone else that that's been processing, if you feel like your issue, a lot of people that come to me have chronic issues. So if you have something chronic, or if this is not worthy as a chronic issue, be sure to get in touch with us and contact us, and then we can help you work through it. It does take some time, and these group healings is just a affordable way to clear out some layers. So I don't see anybody. Let me see if they've checked. All right, the comments saying so much lighter. Thank you. Well, thank you for joining. Oh, okay. That was kind of you, Jen. Wonderful soul sharing your gifts. Huh? Thank you. Yeah, we like doing this work, and we like doing our inner work, and we hope to encourage other people to keep doing their inner work. Any last thoughts, questions? I could take one more call, and then we're going to be calling a night here. And then next month, it's the same time. I mean, around the same time. There was a recent time change with the spring clock change. So it's usually 9 Central Time. Okay. Yeah. So as I said in the beginning, be sure to, listen to the replay for the previous months about not being enough. It's similarly connected, these two topics. Oh, you're welcome. Okay. I'm just going through my checklist to see if there's any last comments that came in, and then just email us if you have other further questions that for some reason if we didn't address. All right, everybody. I don't see any last questions or comments. It looks like everybody is good. So thank you all for joining me, and I will talk to you I will talk to you next month. So have a good spring wherever you are. It's very hot here. I know some areas are warming up in the States. And I'll talk to everybody soon. Bye-bye, everybody.
Mm-hmm.